Hi guys, Robin with Big Doodle Dreams. Welcome back to my channel. And this beautiful boy that I have with me, he is a multi-generational Aussiedoodle. So Australian Shepherd bred with Poodle, only in his case he's a multi-gen. And I will bother to explain all of that generational first, second, F1B and F2B, and then of course multi-gen. But in his case, he has 5 generations of Aussiedoodles in his background. Yes, you do. So he's 30 pounds and more of a Moyen size. Aussiedoodles come in various sizes. There's the toy, which is far smaller, 10, 12, maybe even 15 pounds at the very most. Your miniature, which typically is right around 25 pounds. My guys are all in that Moyen size, so the medium size, right around 30 or 35 pounds. I just think it's a little more durable. And then of course we have your big standards, which are far taller and bigger, 50 pounds and up. And I typically steer away from that size just because of joint issues. Your bigger dogs typically have more hip and joint issues and therefore have a shorter lifespan. So. But Aussiedoodle is made by crossing an Australian Shepherd with a Poodle. And the first thing I have to explain is that when you are considering a breed like an Aussiedoodle, you need to understand that you're taking 2 breeds and making it into one. And that you are essentially going to get some of the genetics from both parents, but you're also going to get some of those behaviors and traits that run with each of those breeds. So an Australian Shepherd is a herding breed. It runs in circles, it nips at ankles, they do retrieve, but they're a herding breed. They want to work and they want to go and go and go and go and go and do and do and do and do and do. Yes, they do. And they have more of that, they make circles and they'll make circles around you. I know my Bingo, when I have the leash hanging from him, he makes circles around me and the leash gets tied up around my legs. So, you're mixing your herding breed, the driven working component aspect of the herding breed, with a Poodle. And a Poodle is a water retriever. So now you have a dog that the water retriever component, the herding component, and all put together. The 2 breeds, the Poodle and the Australian Shepherd, are very, very, very intelligent breeds. They can learn so many things and tasks and commands and all of that. And therefore that caution comes into play that when you have breeds that are that smart, that you need to be a structured family. If you want an Aussiedoodle and you think it's the right breed for you, they need structure, they need consistency, they need everything, even more so than just your average, golden retriever or even a golden doodle, because they are so smart. They need more stimulation and better stimulation and good structure. So they're a healthy breed. Yes, there are issues that run in both, genetics between Poodles and Australian Shepherds, just as they are with all dog breeds. This is a matter quite simply of health testing and making sure that your parents are free and clear of any of those common diseases and illnesses to those breeds. So, but this guy, he's multi-gen. His sister is Cindy Lou. If you are looking through my channel, you'll find my video about collar versus harness, and that is his sister. His mommy is Alice, and she is on my dog brushing video where you can see Alice. And they're, again, a Moyen size, that 30-pound size. So he's watching cars. I think he might think that mom pulled up because he was just groomed. And I know he's in tune to that sound, just as all dogs, once they know your quirks and your ins and outs, they know exactly when you've pulled up, they know when you're coming home, they know what time of day it is, they know when it's food time, they get it. So, but this guy, Zach, I do want to point out, he is a merle. This is a blue merle. That is essentially that marbling pattern that I discussed in a couple of the other previous videos where you can see this color in other places. So I'm going to include an additional second video to show you what a first generation looks like, because he is a multi-gen, and a multi-gen does look very different from a first generation. First generation is when you take the two original breeds, Australian Shepherd and Poodle, and put them together. So on to the next video. All right, so this is Wally. He is a first generation Aussiedoodle. That means that his parents are a Poodle and an Australian Shepherd. And in his case, they're both miniature size, so they were both under 30 pounds. And that's where he's at. He's got more coat than anything else. The thing that I want you to notice about him being first generation is that his ears are straighter, his face is straighter, this is a much straighter, and the tail is much straighter. The grooming on a first generation is much easier. It doesn't grow nearly as fast. If you are really good with brushing and with scissoring, it is honestly a much easier coat to maintain. The more poodle you put back in, then the more likely that you will have mats that will develop. But that's one of the benefits of the first generation. The thing that I will tell you about the first generation is that because they are a mixture of the poodle, the water retriever, and the Australian Shepherd, which is a herding dog, circling and nippy behavior, you have more diversity in that first generation litter than when you make the F1B or the F2B, where there's more poodle in it. So within a litter like his, you're going to have some puppies that have more nippiness, that have more drive, that have even straighter coat than what he has. And then you will have some puppies that will have more curl and more structure like a poodle, more squarely built, because even their structure is slightly different. An Australian Shepherd is longer than they are tall, and a poodle is square. They're as tall as they are as long. So you do get more diversity in the first generation litter. You not just in your coat type, but also in your temperament. But as you can see, he's sitting here, he's behaved, he's not pulling, he's being a good boy, he's been trained. It's all on how much training you put in. It's not necessarily first generation versus F1B. If you are dealing with allergies and you absolutely cannot have a dog with any shedding component to it, then the first generation is not going to be for you. There is a risk. There will be some puppies in the first generation litter that will be shedding puppies, and that does, sometimes that'll happen even in your F1B or even further down the line, your multi-gens. Every now and again, one will come out and you go, okay, they definitely have straighter coat, they definitely are more likely going to shed. So, but this is Wally, first generation. Notice his blue eyes. He is not Merle. This comes from Jessie. Jessie is a red tri with blue eyes. She's on the video, the nail trimming video of mine. And because she's a red tri with blue eyes, she's able to produce blue eyes in the solid colored dogs, and that's what he is. He is a black, obviously with a little bit of white trim. So this is my first generation boy, Wally. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching my channel, and I hope that you have learned something about the Aussiedoodle as a breed, and that, if you're really seriously considering, that you make sure you do your research and due diligence. Make sure that you purchase a nice, healthy, healthy puppy that comes from a reputable breeder. And guys, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon.